Episode 8, the finale. Take 1. Today we're making some traditional British sweets. We have on the menu my granny's sherry trifle, the classic strawberry rhubarb crumble, and sticky toffee pudding. Always a crowd pleaser. And as Jamie Oliver would say, a life without sticky toffee pudding ain't really worth living, is it? Hi guys, so today we're going to be baking up one of my grandmother's treasured recipes, one of my all-time favorite Christmas traditions, her sherry trifle. Let's get started. I've got a pound cake here. I'm going to go ahead and slice it. You are welcome to use, she has told me a couple of options. You can either use some ladyfingers, or you can use, if you can have access to it or make it yourself, Swiss roll with just strawberry jam inside of it. But couldn't get the access to that, so I am doing the pound cake. So I have my dish here. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in a layer. And then I'm going to crumple 2 of these in here too, just because I like the crunchy little.
So you have this for Christmas?
Yes, this is a very big tradition for Christmas. Or for my mother, she just likes it anytime we're back home. It's her favorite dish. You can definitely get quite drunk off of this because there's a little bit of sherry in it. Oh, actually, before that. Before I do the second layer, I'm going to go ahead and throw in a couple of heaping tablespoons of some, I went ahead and did the Bonnie Man 4-fruit reserve. You can do strawberry jam, raspberry jam.
What 4 fruits are in there?
This should have strawberries, cherries, red currants, and raspberries. I love red currants. I promise I'm not going to have any, beans, peas, and carrots, or peas and carrots in this one, I promise.
So just the beef then?
Just the beef. But yeah, this is one of our favorite actually, not my favorite, it's one of definitely my mom's favorites recipes of Granny's. Mine is her chicken marbella, which I've already done. This is still really, really good, but it's a definite must for Christmas time for sure. Throw on another little bit of jam.
So do you typically go back home for Christmas?
If I can, yes, Christmas. Otherwise, we like to go for birthdays or we like to do family trips, but Christmas time. I mean, you have to go to England for Christmas because it's so homey. All right, I have 1 bag of frozen mixed berries here that I threw in 1 tablespoon of sugar. You're going to go ahead and add that in over the top. And then the fun part, sherry time. So you can add, she had suggested about 1/2 cup. If you want to do less, you can do less, but I'm going to do 1/2 cup. And you basically pour it over the top of all this. I'm going to set this aside now to let the sherry absorb everything. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the custard. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in 1 tablespoon of sugar into a saucepan with 3 heaping tablespoons of a Bird's custard powder mix. Mix that all together, and then I'm going to gradually add in about 1 cup worth of this milk. There's 3.5 cups. Mix it until there's no more lumps. Now I'm going to go ahead and add in the remaining of the milk. And then I'm going to bring that to a boil to let it get thicker. All right, this is thickened nicely. I'm going to go ahead and gently pour it over the top of this trifle. I'm now going to go ahead and place this in the fridge for about 4 to 5 hours or so to let this, you want the custard to be fully set where it still has a slight wobble to it, but it's set just like a Jell-O. We're going to go ahead and get started on the whipped cream layer for the trifle. So I have about a cup worth of heavy whipping cream, throwing it in the mixer with a whisk attachment. I'm also going to add about 2-3 tablespoons worth of sugar and half a teaspoon of vanilla. And then I'm going to whip that on a high speed for a couple of minutes until it's stiff peaks. All right. So that's the consistency that you're looking for. Carefully and now I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on some slithered almonds as well. This gives this whole dish just a really yummy little crunch and nutty flavor to go with all the sweetness and the bitterness of the sherry and everything like that. Alright, now I'm going to put this back in the fridge for a few more minutes to let it set even more. Hi guys, so today we're going to be baking up one of my all-time favorites that take me right back home, sticky toffee pudding. So first things first, I have 300 mils of hot water, boiling water, that I am steeping 3 Earl Grey tea bags in. They've been steeping for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. I'm going to go ahead and dump in 1 teaspoon of cinnamon over the top of these 450 grams of dates, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and then I'm going to go ahead and pour over the tea water. And with this, push this down, submerge everything in. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside while I get started on making the rest of the cake batter. So first things first, I have 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter. And then I have 170 mils. It's about a cup of golden turbinado. Because I always say this wrong, I'm just going to say this one. So I have about a cup of that. And then also same amount of dark brown sugar. Gonna go ahead and mix it together until it's nice, light, and fluffy. About like 2 to 3 minutes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and crack in 4 eggs. One, two, 3, 4. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add in about half a teaspoon of baking powder to some flour. I have about 2 cups worth of flour. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that into the mixer with all the liquid ingredients. Give it a mix. All right. I am now going to go ahead and grab my blender, and I'm going to blend all of this, including the liquids, into a blender until it becomes the consistency of an applesauce. I'm going to go ahead and take the blade out, scrape everything off. It already smells like it. I love sticky toffee pudding.
So what's this one for? Is there a certain holiday?
No, this is all year round. All year round goodness is what this one is. There is no specific time that you have to have it. I mean, there is. You have to have it every day if you can. But no, this is probably most definitely, this is my all-time favorite British dessert. It's always a must that I have to have when I'm back home. Alright. Get everything out. Come on. You need to be made into something really good. I love the Earl Grey. I can smell that too. Fold all this up.
So it's going to be me not knowing anything because I'm American.
You're good.
What do you mean by pudding?
So pudding, it's basically going to be a more baked version of a chocolate fondue, like a fondue kind of cake. You know, the ones that have the gooey center. It's
like a
no one
cake?
likes this word, and I'm sorry in advance. It is a very, very, very moist cake. But what makes it even better is when you do, shortly we're going to be making the toffee sauce that goes with it. You brush the toffee sauce over it and leave it for a few minutes so it crystallizes, and so it ends up being a really crunchy, sugary outside, and then the inside is just like moist and delicious and treacly, and with the dates and the brown sugar and everything. It's so good. And then put a dollop of vanilla ice cream. You are golden. All right. Oh my God, it smells so good. That's the consistency that you are looking for. I'm gonna go ahead and prepare a bundt pan. I have my bundt pan. 1 second. Traditionally, a lot of Brits will be yelling at me because I'm using this, but traditionally, what you would do is with melted butter, brush every single nook and cranny of this pan, and then dust it with a sifter, dust it with flour so it evenly coats the entire thing, and then that's how traditionally you should do it, but I'm lazy and I'm gonna do this way. I have the oven preheating at about 350, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the oven and bake it for 45 to 50 minutes. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision right now. Evenly spread it out. So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in the oven. Alright, so I have 2 1/4 sticks of butter. I'm going to go ahead and melt in the saucepan. Melt, melt. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and add, I have about 3/4 cup of dark brown sugar, and then underneath it I have 3/4 cup of golden sugar. The same sugars that I used for the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and melt this down a little bit so the sugar and butter are all blended together. Picked one heck of a day to do all this. I'm sweating. It's like 100 and something outside.
And we're gonna create a fire.
I know. We're gonna flambe this. Almost there. You can start to see that the butter is blending in with the sugar. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat down a little bit, and we are gonna go ahead and add in about a 1/4 cup of rum, and I'm gonna set it on fire to burn it off. Come on. Let me help if I have this up. So as soon as the flame goes out, that is when all the alcohol has burnt off. And as you can see, it has burned off. I'm now going to go ahead and gently pour in about a cup and a bit of heavy whipping cream, and this is going to become a wonderful toffee sauce. And I'm going to just bring it up to a boil for it to thicken a bit more. I'm going to let it vigorously boil for a minute, and then I will pull it off, and then I will let it cool. All right. Now we're going to get started on a strawberry rhubarb crumble. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up strawberries, about 1 packet worth. I like to quarter them. And I have about 3 stalks of rhubarb here that I went ahead and already chopped into inch cubes. This is another one that makes me feel like I'm at home. It's very traditional in England, especially with the rhubarb. It's just a very comforting dessert. Another one, same thing with the sticky toffee pudding. It's an all year round kind of deal. I love the sweetness that the strawberries give this dish. It's just really delicious. And then the sour tartness that the rhubarb is, all together just make a really yummy dish. Actually, you can put any fruit in it. It does a really good apple crumble, which is one of my grandmother's go-tos. She loves to add some chopped apples in it. Also throws in some blackberries from around our field. You could do probably a triple berry one, would be really nice. Comment below what everyone would like to see next for crumbles, if you would like me to do one. Another one again.
So you want to talk about the heat ring?
Do I want to talk about it, or do I want to scream about it? Yeah, so we picked one hell of a weekend to do this. Right now we're dealing with, I even threw it in the wrong bowl. It's like 110 outside. And at night, last night alone, the coldest it got was like 96, which is not cool in the slightest. I don't know who else, anywhere else, is dealing with one, but it ain't good. And having the oven on. Oh, I'm doing this for you guys. Mix in about a tablespoon or so of white sugar. Mix that all up. Then I'm going to also add in about a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. This helps thicken the mixture as it's cooking. So when all the juices release, it thickens it up to make it a nice sauce. Evenly coat everything. And just because I like a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and add in a squeeze of about that much of a lemon, just for a little extra sharpness. that bit anyways. I have a casserole dish here. And I'm going to go ahead and throw this mixture in. And then evenly spread everything around. Here I have about a cup worth of oats, old-fashioned oats. I'm going to add a cup of flour to. And then about a quarter cup of brown sugar, or the one I can't say. You all know by now this one, that one. And then I have a stick and a half of butter that's melted. Give that a nice mix. I love this dish because of the oats. It gives it an additional crunchy texture, and the crumble topping, it's so good. This would go really nicely with some custard or some cream. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and add it to, one second, I need a fan minute. All right, this is nice and mixed. I'm gonna go ahead and evenly sprinkle this over the top of the fresh fruit. I have the oven temperature, if you hadn't noticed, preheated at 350, and then I'm gonna bake it for about 30 to 35 minutes until the top is golden brown and the liquid from the fruit is bubbling from the edges around in. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven, but there it is.
England desserts on a table, all in one. Delicious trifle. The perfect bite. Oh yeah. It might not look great, but it tastes really freaking good. Mm-hmm. Cherry and the jam and the sponge and the custard. It's really good. Mm-hmm. Tastes like Christmas in Granny's house. Mom, you have to be the tester. You can be off camera, but you're the real critique.
But I have another spoon.
Yes, hey, it's crumble time. Mm-hmm. The strawberries and the rhubarb, and then the crunchy top. It would go really nicely with a nice scoop of ice cream. All right, now this is the one I've been waiting for. Slice into it. The best part. Come here. Yeah, me. No, none for no one. All for me. Wow. I think that's the best one yet. These really have taken me back home to the UK. Thanks for watching.
It really is a naughty dessert, though. I'm just saying.
Or you're getting some of the people on.
You better freaking make it. Otherwise, you're missing out. Damn it!